Um, I have been playing some games. I literally just walked inside from outside, hanging out with my mom on the porch, and I didn't prepare well yet for today because I had already streamed the introduction to this lesson. So if you were someone who, also I got this. If someone was watching yesterday, I bought this Tropicana fruits um, in my the other day at Parisa. I was trying out some oh, hold on, let's make this legible. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Hi. Okay, great. Anyway, and it's a sparkling pomegranate juice. It's like soda from the Middle East, so I'm trying that today. It's all right. It tastes good. Anyway, so yesterday I streamed for about an hour and a half to tell people about the project that I am going to basically do some research for today because I already yesterday explained what has to happen, what is expected of you, and that is something that everyone is going to have to do. But today is Friday, March 27th, and if we had had school today, it would have been a B day, and we would be starting spring break in 2.5 hours. So I did. Oh, good. There's no one here yet, so I'm still talking to myself, which is fine. Um, I was never going to expect you guys to work over the break, but I did want you to brainstorm before your break so that if you were someone who wanted to learn and have something to do, you could start thinking about this project. But it was never going to be due till the end of Unit 8 anyway, which originally was going to be probably, oh, the middle of April. But because of what has happened and the fact that we're all at home, this project actually you have a lot more time to get to it because we're going to actually do these NTI days uh, before we go back to working on the decolonization project itself, which means I'm going to introduce the project to you right now. I'm also going to revisit the introduction to that project on our first day of NTI, the 6th and the 7th, which for B Day kids is the 7th. Um, and then I'm going to give it to you guys and I'm going to let you work on it. And I'm going to expect you to have something done by the 6th and 7th of May. So, B Day students, you're expected to be done with this project by the 7th of May at the end of the day, which means like 5 or 6 o'clock, you guys need to be submitting. 5 o'clock, y'all have to submit them. And you also have to react to two other people's projects and actually talk about what each other researched. That's part of your grade. And I'm actually giving you the whole 2 days before that, the 4th and the 5th. Those are additional, that's another work day. Um, that's like, I'm not expecting you to do anything different. Like, that's your day to work on it for surezies. So, there's 3 days of our semester devoted to this project, okay? So today is the first day. I want you to think about it. I want you to be able to start researching if you want to, just a little bit today. And if you don't yet, that's okay. You have a month to get done. Actually, you have a month and 10 days to get done. So you have a ton of time to work on this. And the people who were in the chat yesterday felt like it wasn't too much work. So that's good. It seems pretty straightforward to people so far. But as always, you are allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to get help and, you know, have me guide you along the way. In the actual assignment, I have made graphic organizers for everybody to do the project. And so far, I've uploaded 3 documents you need to use. I guess there's 4. There's a lot of documents. So there's the actual assignment itself. This is the assignment right here, okay? This is a map to help you pick your countries. You have to email me your choice. So if you want to do a country that's not on the original assignment, you just email me, okay, and tell me. And even if you want to choose one from the original assignment, still email me which one you want. And then you have to do. Oh, look, my husband's streaming too. I can see things in the corner you can't see. Anyway, so you have to do an annotated bibliography where you have to research and give me annotated bib information for two sources. And you have to find good sources. They have to be a legitimate, like, website, article, or book. It has to be something legit. It can't be Google or Wikipedia. Now, you can use Wikipedia to find sources, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. So then, this thing is what you actually. This is something you have to turn in. It's the Imperialism to Decolonization Annotated Bibliography. And then you have a research organizer. It's just a little graphic organizer. So this actually teaches you, like, what are even, how and why annotated bibs are good for you. Then you have to do one. Then you have to research. And as I do this, I'm creating more stuff for you. So I'm going to be giving you a slides template to do your final product in. I already opened this part. The assignment itself is basically following a country from when it was colonized through its decolonization and the impacts of the colonial system on that country now, if that makes any sense. So your final product is going to be a presentation wherein you basically are going to write an LEQ. Evaluate the extent to which imperialism had a long-term impact politically, economically, socially, culturally on decolonized countries in the 20th and 21st centuries. I really like this because the test with the test being like scaled back to just be units 1 through 6, this actually goes over imperialism again very well for you, to really sink in why imperialism mattered and its impacts. So cause and effect, one of those major historical reasoning processes. Um, Anyway, so one of those main core things that you're supposed to be good at. So that's why I like the project in the first place. And you guys are allowed to pick one of many, many countries. So I actually found a cool map that is just like the freedom numbers for the world. And this is basically the countries that were occupied by foreign forces and what year they were freed. And I said the only country you couldn't have is India because it's mine, and it says that in the instructions. So, and that's what I'm going to do today. So, I hope that was enough of an introduction. I'll see if anybody's here yet. Oh, hey, I got a couple people. Hey. So I have already made a whole video that like fully walks you through the questions and like what is expected of you. And if you want to go watch that, you can. And so today I was going to start my research and make a teacher example for you because I think one of the things that people don't know how to do is research. So I was going to just show you what I do. So I hope that makes sense. And I'm going to open these things up. So this is a document you need. Okay. And this is a document we need for today. I think I might just start with the annotated bibliography because I said yesterday that my process, I never had to do an annotated bibliography until I was in college. I think the first one I had to do was in history 515. It was a history of Spain from like 1200 to 1600. It was a really narrow time frame. It was a very high level class. And I was told to just do an annotated bibliography. I had never done one in my whole life. I didn't even know what it was. I had to learn then. So this is to help you know that. And this is because, especially in my 8A classes, and B has actually several ProServe kids in it, which is awesome for me. So a lot of those people want to be like lawyers, or they want to be like book editors of some kind. And this one fits the child who wants to be a book editor, just so she knows. Like, this is summarizing a source, evaluating it. Like, That's what editors do. And so I'm making you do two. Okay, and I don't think I actually put that in the assignment yet. Okay, so complete at least two entries for your annotated bibliography. Any extra are welcome but not required. There we go. And yeah, so this is obviously people who are just watching this. If someone were to find this, I delisted them, so like hopefully just us, just only people who have the link would know how to get here. But anyway, what was I trying to say? I don't know. Oh yeah, so I talked about it yesterday, but I didn't make it clear. So there you go, two entries. And now let's make this bold so people can. No, I do that all the time, you guys. Do you feel like you do this all the time? Like this is the highlighter that like highlights stuff. This is the color for the words. I mix it up all the time. Okay, there you go. Two entries. There we go. Okay, now I gotta format it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm crazy about stuff like this. Ugh, it's gonna bug me. I do this for you guys, just so you know. This is because everyone's gonna use this. Oh no. Hold on, I gotta fix this. I can't. I can't do it. Here we go. Remove space. There we are. That's all that had to happen. Okay, yeah. Now, I am actually going to make a copy because I'm going to mains example. Okay. And then there's this research chart. So there's several, but here's all the questions from the assignment. And like here's where we're going to put our answer, and here's where we're going to put our sources. Okay. And only some of them do we have to answer the question, how did imperialism impact the issue? So there's a few questions down here that we have to do that. And I guess I might actually, things that I do, insert row below. Yeah. And then this, I'm going to undo the fill because I'm actually going to use this today. So transparent, and then see, and part of me really wants to hit enter. There we go. And now this really makes that legible so people can see both. Anyway, so, and I'll make my copy of this as well. So file, make a copy, mains example. Okay. Awesome. And now I'm going to exit the originals so I don't accidentally type in them because I do this all the time. Okay. Here we go. There we go. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to show you guys the book I'm about to give you. This is The Ways of the World that I got a copy for every one of us through the end of May. Probably after my stream today, I'm going to send out these codes. There is a code for every single one of you that if you log into this website, will give you this exact book. And I'm really excited about it because if anybody in this class knows, the book that we have, The Ways of the World, the one at school, this is the third edition of this book. This book is for the old. Look, that's so pretty. This book, this green book, is for the old format, which is the whole history of the whole world to present day. It actually has 6 units, And this book is like 800 something pages of stuff. No, this is like 1,000 pages. Hold on, I'll tell you the last page that there's stuff on it. 1072, 1073. So there's 1,000 pages in this book, and it's the whole history of the whole world. So I guess that's fine that it takes that many pages. I agree. But the one that's just for the present day, I went through to the last chapter. So if I go back to the table of contents, it is the current, like the new course for AP World History Modern, where we start in the year 1200 and we move to present. And it's kind of more thematic than it is chronological, even though it's also kind of chronological. So that's how the book is divided up. And it's so pretty and it tells me things. And I'm just going to nerd out for just one little second because I'm pretty sure I saw at least a couple people here that I'm going to talk about it on. So look at this. Hold on. No, 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 I don't need that. I'm trying to go to like the chapters. Hold on. So like part one, diversity and interaction in the world, 1200 to 1450. So that's units one and two. So a global tapestry and units of exchange or networks of exchange. That's the first two units. So this is all about that. Now they've separated it into four chapters, and see, like the Mongols get their own chapter. Sorry if I'm too loud. I'm too excited. So it's beautiful. But then if you just go to the actual chapters, here we go. Sorry, it takes me. Here we go. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, and you can click through it. This is how you click through it. So this is like the beginning. This is like unit 0. And I feel so proud. I'm not saying I'm proud of myself, but like using my brain and the standards, I made a course for my students that is basically what they put in the book. And I feel good about that because they literally spend a few pages on the Paleolithic era and the transition to agriculture. And then there's a little bit about early civilizations, and they work in, okay, cool, that's cool. Oh my God, I haven't even played with half of this actually. Oh God, no, there's all things you can write in it. Oh my God, I haven't even, sorry, oh dear. I'm very new at this. I've never done this before. This is my first digital textbook. Because I grew up before this was a thing. I've always had to use the bookie kind. I'm hoping that my students, being technology natives, do better, but I don't think we will. I think it's going to be really hard. But this is the best we got, and it's amazing. It goes piece by piece. And what I was trying to show you, sure, go to page 13. Do you see how in the corners it's all these skills like causation, the types of questions literally go with the historical thinking skills that I'm literally about to teach you. So I feel very happy about our course reading this book that I didn't have access to because I basically for sure taught you right. So I feel good about it. But anyway, so it's a beautiful book and it's super nice. And I was going to, because what I included in the lesson plan already is the original textbook chapters. There's a chapter on imperialism in our big book, and there's also a chapter on independence and development of the global south in this. And I really think that to do good research, you need to start with your secondary source, your main secondary source first. And if you want to do an annotated bib, you know what? I'm gonna use the textbook for one of my annotated bib sources. And I will use the textbook in my stuff. And then I think I'll try to find a good article for you guys that's about decolonization impacts in India. Because I do want to show you how to find actual texts. And I was going to try to use the systems available to you guys. So today I'm going to read this, and I'll probably do the first piece of an annotated bibliography after reading this part, because to do your annotated bibliography, you have to know the source. You have to read the source. And I'm telling you that your textbook is a good source. Okay, it is a good source. It's academic researched. It's professors talking. It's the facts, and you can use this book to do that. Now, I have this physical copy, but um, obviously I have included these. And if you go back to the main page and you go to your main page, if you guys go into the review activities and AMSCO textbook, you can also find this information in the AMSCO books. And I'm going to just roll out on a limb and guess that it's probably, give me one moment and I'll verify this for you, okay? See, you've got rationales for imperialism was unit 6, okay? So this is rationales for imperialism, and then see, like, this is stuff about India right here, okay? Oh man, it would be nice of me to just use because I could use this source as well. I'm going to do a third one. I'll use this as a second source, and then, like I said, I still want to show you how to find a good article online if you needed to. So see, imperialism in Africa, European scramble. This is all about African countries. So if you choose to research an African country, here's the beginning of information. And I would say that your AMSCO book is like the bare minimum. Like, it's acceptable, but this is already a review version of things. So it's skimmed down and it doesn't give you as much information as even the Strayer book will. So, it's a good start, though, if you want to be able to just take your introductory notes to know what you need to know for your country. And that way you can have the nuts and bolts. Like, this is probably the best thing you could do, because I used to say that Wikipedia was a good place to do that. But honestly, Wikipedia is so fat at this point. Like, people have written so much in Wikipedia articles that when I'm going to go and show you the Wikipedia article from about India, because that's a good place. It's a good way to find sources. I'll show you that, okay? But anyway, and I'm going to pick these sources, and that's my plan today, and we're going to research. So anyway, so this is Unit 6. So this is page, hold on, let's see here. This is Africa. See, it's talking about various countries in Africa. This is South Asia. So if you were trying to do Vietnam or Sri Lanka, all these kinds of things. You don't get to do China, but you can talk about Japan taking over Korea. All right, see, but look, it has very little information there. This talks about the Dutch in Southeast Asia, the French in South. So this is Vietnam right here, if you're choosing to do Vietnam. Look, and this is Thailand, which is where we have twins from Thailand, but they basically played their cards right, and they instituted a series of modernizing reforms. Yeah, they began to industrialize by building railroads, and they were actually really kind of seen as like a buffer zone. So like the French have land on one side and the English have land on the other side, but they kind of leave Thailand alone so that they don't have any reason to have a war. They just let that be a natural barrier for him. I'm not saying that that's the only reason Thailand was left alone, because it does sound like Thailand was also smart. Their monarchs were pretty good in the way that they responded to the Europeans and knew what to say and play their cards right. So good stuff, Thailand. And so you can't do Australia and New Zealand, because that's all white people the whole time. I mean, no, because unfortunately, like, the native people there kind of got ran over, similarly to the United States and Latin America. So that's a reason they're not included in this project. Part of the reason. All right, so then this is talking about our expansion overseas. This down here so the Roosevelt Quarry. I don't know if this is talking about the Philippines here or not. Give me 1 second. I don't think this has much information about the Philippines for anybody who is choosing to do that. I'm just trying to find it for people to kind of show them where stuff would be at if they were using this source. Now, this is just the first part. So this is like 6.1 through 6.2, and then 6.3 and 6.4 is more about imperialism, because all of it is. So this is indigenous responses to it. So this is nationalists in the Balkans. Cloud of foreboding for World War I, right? I really love this, because the resistance and rebellions, this is actually people in the Americas resisting authority. So the Cherokees, getting it, the ghost dance, getting it. I didn't talk about this a lot because you 127%. Get to learn about this in U.S. history next year. Um, but then, okay, so South Asia. All right, so now here is some information for me about Indian rebellion. Okay. Here's some Vietnamese. Ooh, here's some Philippine resistance. Here you go. People who are talking about the Philippines. The Philippines is interesting because it's a colonial power position that changes hands and kind of unfairly. So it's interesting. Here's some Australia, New Zealand. Now that's, oh, this just makes me sad. Yeah, the Aboriginal people have been in Australia for estimated 50,000 years and have the oldest continuous culture on Earth. At the time of the European settlement, there may have been as many as 1 million people in 500 clans speaking 700 languages. But they killed a lot of their people as they attempted to defend their land. So that happened. Okay, here is a whole section in this pair about African resistance. So you can see Zulus. This is early resistance, it looks like. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is early resistance, but still, if you're choosing like Ghana, for example, this would be a good example of resistance efforts early on. Now, this is global development. Okay. All of this matters. So, the fact that there's steamships and telegraphs, like, what are they making in these countries? What are they wanting? How did imperialist powers make them take over these things? I'll probably read a little bit about this. Guano is the bat poop. Raw materials. Yeah. So this is important for everybody because one of the questions asks us, what did they want from those locations? Okay. And here's some global consequences. Okay. So I think that's a lot. Let's see what's in the next section. So I'm telling you these are good pieces of sources. Okay. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through and picking my sources. I'm kind of skimming. Are you seeing that how I'm doing that? I'm skimming it to find what's there and saying, yes, this is a good source, or no, this is not a good source. Okay, and right now I'm telling you, AMSCO is a great starting source. And then I would say your textbook is a source beyond that. And then articles and the internet is beyond that. So I don't think you should count out your textbooks for this work. Oh, and I'm going to put it in citation machine. So I will, and I'm not going to give it to you. You still have to put it in citation machine yourself. But I'm not going to put it in the main assignment. I'm going to make you do it yourself because it's so easy. I'm not going to do it because it's so easy. I want everyone to do it. Even if it is just writing what mine is, because that's fine. But I'm not going to make it where you can just copy and paste it. You have to copy and paste it from the website. Okay, let's see what this section is. So far I've got 6.1, 6.3. Here's 6.5, economic imperialism. Yeah, so this is still pieces of it. It's just broken down. See, like this is literally, it's just broken down into its compartments. So this is how the money, they're trying to make money. Like, what are they doing? And this is for me. Here's India right here. Let's see here. Here we go. So this is colonization impacts, how this impacts their food and changes them to monoculture. Okay. And that's a big deal. Egypt, if you're trying to do Egypt, I'm pretty sure Kenya is one of the original, wasn't it? No. But you can do Kenya. So there you go. And also the impacts of slavery on African countries. Okay. Let's see here. And now here's Latin America. So you really don't get to do Latin America much. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I got to say yes to my former student. Supersedes all other things because, oh, someone already said yes. Dang. Well, I tried, Maya. Anyway. Where was I? Am I here? Okay. I'm putting them in order too because it's going to bug me. Now, causes of migration 6.6. I don't think that's really going to help a ton. See, like the French, Salad, French Guiana. India. Yeah, no, see, look, migrations in the face of change. So, like, people moving around in India, that's an impact of colonialism. Hold on. Yeah, look, the British began sending Indians to Mauritius. Okay, so yeah, that's going to count for me. Let's see here. I don't really think much of this is very helpful to you guys, so that's why I'm skimming. Okay. So yeah, this is slightly helpful to me, this little section, okay? But this is all the same source, basically. Now, when I'm citing, if I were going to be like writing a paper and I was citing where in the source it matters, then you need that page numbers matter in that instance. But I'm not making you go that far today. We're not trying to psych you out too hardcore. Um, but yeah, so that's okay. So there's a little bit here. Causes of migration helps me a little bit. But for the most part, no. Okay, economic imperialism, yes. So 6.5, yes. 6.6, not so much. But for me, yeah, and a few people maybe. Okay, and I think that's it on this PDF. And then there's one more piece. Let's see if, because Unit 6 is all the impact, so it might, I don't think there's much in this one, but I am going to check. So, effects of migration, no. I wouldn't say that's helpful. Ooh, but except for, oh, look at me. Indian enclaves. Yep, and Indians in Southeast Asia. So, for me, it totally matters. But see, almost no one else. Because everyone else, Irish, Italians, no one gets to do that. Prejudice, no. So, okay, causation. Changes of Saturn of living overseas. Seeds of revolution, maybe. But not really. So a little bit for me, yes. So all four of these, pieces of this chapter, this is, for clarity, this is from page 367 through page 430, 41, 42. But I'm not going to use every page in there. I'm going to read little pieces of it for mine, okay? So it's not a ton of reading there. And then, like I said, hold on, let me go back to the actual assignment. Oh, I'm going to start some music up, actually. Hold up, y'all. Royalty free. I'm researching India, so I felt like doing some things of that nature. Oh, okay. Lots of people have sent me things. Oh, good. Here, let's save people's stuff. This is how this happens, just so you know. This is Mr. Diaz. I'm not going to click on it in front of the camera because it's clearly something that they're deciding things. Oh, and this is me. Okay. Ooh, you know what? YouTube.com. Let's see if YouTube works better than even that, huh? Let's, royalty free Indian instrumental music. Let's see what happens. Let's just live stream. Are there any live streams? Because that would really be amazing. Live. How did I know? Oh, but these aren't necessarily like India stuff. Okay. Oh, Mr. Diaz is trying to send us something and it ain't working. Okay. Tisn't working. Ooh, that's cool. I'm not going to do space music. Viking music. Interesting. You know what? I'm just gonna do study. This is an hour and a half long. We'll use this.
If you're a YouTuber, you're probably using this and this. So you should start using this.
Nah. I like it. Let's see if you can hear it. Yeah, it's nice and quiet. Now, this is very important. I need... Now, let's see. I don't like music with words when I'm trying to research. That's what I was trying to say. Study music is music with no words, you douche. Doofuses. Sorry, I didn't to say anything inappropriate. I'm just gonna go with my normal one. Hopefully this doesn't get muted. Because that's what I'm trying to avoid, is keeping stuff from getting muted. I'm just gonna go back to the website. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, picking good music for the background to really get into it is really helpful. Let's do browse. Sound effects. Ambiance, humans, things, transportation, water. Isn't that crazy? This is a really cool website, by the way, guys. It's Epidemic Sound. All of this stuff is royalty free, and it's a whole royalty free website. So, like, everything is allowed, basically. You can just have it in the background. Yeah, let's do this. This is kind of more my vibes. Okay, and we do want it to be sort by, let's see here, vocals. I want it to be instrumental. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Am I too picky? Hmm. I'm in the mood to be in a happy. You can tell. Oh, look, a lot of these are like Christmas. What the H? Hope you're enjoying your brain break while I'm figuring this out. That's pretty sounding, but that's not what I want. No. I can't. I can't. I don't like it. Oh, see, and it keeps playing down here. That's kind of cool, though. So what I've been doing is the small emotions, and I played like the suspenseful music when I was doing like sad stuff. And that actually worked pretty well, but let's just do peaceful or hopeful. No, let's do hopeful. Yeah, I want something like upbeat, you know? Oh, that's not what I clicked. Okay, clicking hopeful. Alright, let's see what these sound like. Hmm. Let's see if we get peaceful electronic. Let's see if it's more. Well, okay. It's too chill. No, no. That's like Woomba music. Maybe we can do happy electronica. Yeah, okay. There we go. Now we sound at least like a coffee house. Okay, cool. Into it. Done. Not gonna continue trying to find that. Okay. I don't know anyone that matters is. I can't tell who's in here. I don't know any of these people's names. So, community showcase. Hi. There we go. Okay. That's much better. Okay, now that's good for background music. Okay. This gets us in the right mind frame. So, I just feel better now. Where are we now? Um, oh yeah. Okay. Them's is good vibes. Okay, so I've already got the AMSCO chapters up that will help us. Oh well, actually, I'm not saying the truth because I've got all the imperialism part, don't I? There's also chapter 8 that's the decolonization. So real quick, I'm gonna go back to what I just left. I'm sorry. Actually, it's gonna be under pages because it's not an assignment. I'm gonna go to chapter 8, and I know that 8.5 or 6 is decolonization. Okay. So yeah, this little section right here. Okay, and like I've got India here. Okay, Ghana and Algeria are the first in Africa. Okay. If you do Algeria, that's really interesting because it was under French control, and there's a lot of continued relationships with France and Algeria. So French West Africa, like they negotiated for their freedoms in the French West Africa. If you want to do Vietnam, here's the Vietnam. Here's Egypt, Nigeria, Canada. You don't get to do. Yeah, like Canada didn't have to have like a revolution. Basically, the British Empire was much more lenient with. How do I explain? Uh, Racism. That's the best way to explain it, honestly. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to beat around the bush, but the all the lands that the British expanded to, where they had predominantly white settlers, like British settlers, they were much quicker to give them control of themselves as opposed to places where the people weren't the same shade as them. Okay. All right, so that soda's nice. Here's Cambodia. This is Israel and Egyptian interactions after independence and relationships with neighbors. This is the division of India and Pakistan, so that's important to me. Also, India down here. Okay, so there, this portion of chapter 8 is also important. It's 8.5 and a little bit of 8.6, okay? I guess I didn't choose instrumentals. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Anyway. So sorry, I had to go back and get that, but that's all the pieces from AMSCO. So 6.1 through 6.2, 6.3, pretty much all of the chapter 6 pieces of that chapter from AMSCO will be helpful. And then also 8.5 and a little bit of 8.6 from chapter 8. And now, what I was originally trying to go back and do was show you where you can find information in the textbook, okay? So, I'll go to that next. So, the first chapter, this is the PDF of Strayer that if you have a copy at home, it might be a slightly different page, but I promise you the wording is exactly the same. Like, they're identical. I just have like this weird PDF copy to give you guys, and I don't even know where it's from, but it was just in my stuff, so I have it. So this is Colonial Encounters, okay? So this should hopefully talk about the spread of colonial empires, okay? And this is the introduction, like the second or third page. And I'll open up the green book so I can make sure I'm in the same place. Give me 1 second so I can tell you what page it exactly is if you have a paper copy of the book. So it's chapter 20. Hold on. Here. Oh, it's actually I think it's chapter 19 in the newer edition. So the number is different. But that's okay, because like I said, they changed a couple things, but if you have a paper copy, I'm going to tell you. So, don't vary. Colonial Encounters for you guys is chapter 18. So, give me 1 second. And I'll show you so that you know I'm not crazy. Yeah, see, this is the front. This is the page that matches that. And then this is the page that matches this. Colonial Encounters. Okay. So if you have the paper textbook, this is on page 787 for you. If you're using the digital copy, it's this page 589. Okay. See if that's Mr. Diaz. Oh, good. Oh, that's people talking about meetings. Okay. So anyway, this is page 589 here. This is page 787 if you're looking at it. And like I said, the words are exactly the same. In mid 1967, I was on a summer break from teaching in the Peace Corps in Ethiopia. What a cool guy. This is This is actually a person, Mr. Strayer or Nelson. I don't know who's writing which one. They both write it. I don't know how to tell. But this one's stuck. Here we go. All right, so let's see where it's at. So that's a good introduction to all of them. Second wave of European conquests. Oh, there's a whole nother section for you guys. Okay. Your book, the book here has a whole other additional section, the paper copy, section 3. It's got a whole section about industry and empire. So there's actually a lot of information about Egypt on these. But I'm hoping I'm going to also show you the digital copy, so you can use either one. I just wanted to give you all the tools you need, right? So, so a second wave of European conquests for you guys starts on page 590, and for this book that starts on page 793. So they basically just added stuff as they went. That's cool, but none of it matters now because I changed the freaking everything. So let's see here. That's kind of cool. It talks about Suez Canal, talks about causes. Alright, so anyway. A little bit this talks about expansion in India. It talks about, so this is Southeast Asia first, okay? So if you choose any of these countries, this is talking about when they're first taking over there, okay? This right here specifically seems to be a little bit about Indonesia and India. And then here we go. For you guys here, this is page 593. In your textbook, this map is on page 796. And I'll hold that up to show you. I'm not lying. It's the same. Okay. I don't know I can't tell which thing I'm supposed to move. Anyway. Okay, so under European rule, so this is Filipinos, okay? If someone's doing Philippines, I see some 594. This is Africa under British rule. It seems all pretty mixed in, actually. So this is indigenous responses. I'll see. Hold up. Interesting. All of this would help people understand stuff a little bit. I kind of think that the other book is more direct, but you can still pull stuff from this one. Ooh, I didn't mean to zoom in there. Let's see. See, this is specifically talking about some stuff in India here. Okay, so I pretty much need to read this, guys, and I'm going to have to read it. So I'm finding my sources first. Okay. Forced labor. I think this is probably going to talk about Africa more. This is a lot of African. Oh, look at that poor kid. Jeez. Whew. If you're doing Congo. And then, let's see here. Cash crops. This is more details about that monoculture we talked about with food as they were growing stuff. Okay. Transitioning to wage labor and how that impacted people. And that's kind of here. Okay, this is Lipton tea. And mining. Again, this is all mixed in together. So this is all just good information. But it's a lot, so I understand if you don't want to read the whole thing. And now here's a case study. This is about women in Africa, so that's kind of interesting. If you're doing African countries, how do women respond to this stuff? That's cool. That's specifically, I saw the name Ghana mentioned, Cameroon, Ivory Coast. So all of these countries are available. So that's why I'm highlighting them. And assessing colonial development. Yeah, all of this. All of this is just like basic. It's information. It's all mixed in though. So it's not divided as perfectly as it is in AMSCO, but it's still a denser source, if that makes any sense. I know here's education impacts. Okay. Oh, look at all their little outfits. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, so this is an impact, guys. Throughout the Afro-Asian world, the 19th century, the European presence generated a small group of people who enthusiastically embraced the culture and lifestyle of Europe. Here, King Chulalongkorn, maybe, of Siam poses with the crown prince and other young students, all of them garbed impeccably in European clothing. And I find that to be very interesting because, like, people are wearing this kind of stuff in tropical regions where it's like really freaking hot. So, it's the style, but does it make sense? No. And religion. So this is religious impacts. Okay, so that's this also. All this chapter is helpful. Okay, and this will help you with the first bit. Okay. All right, so I'm just scrolling to make sure if there's anything else. This is just like who makes history. I mean, you can read that, but I wouldn't say it's going to give you evidence for your essay, so or your research. So, and now I'm loading up the independence chapter real quick to skim through that. Okay, so this is digitally. This is chapter 23 that of the digital thing I sent you, and then let's scroll to in my book. Struggles for independence. I'm guessing. Let's click. I gotta click on it to tell you which what. Okay. Independence and development of the global south. Yeah. Okay. So if you have the paper copy, this appears. Now this one has a different image. This is Nelson Mandela. Let me see what else is in here. Let's see. Okay. So communism. Yeah. Okay. It's chapter 22 if you have the green book in your hands. Okay, it's chapter 22. It's chapter 23 here. So they're like a couple chapters off. I don't understand how they added and subtracted chapters, but this is that chapter. Okay. And this is just about, this is the struggle of freedom for, awesome. I'll be reading this right y'all. Okay. But, alright, so this seems to be an overall overview of the end of empire. Okay, like why did empires end? This is explaining, this is an overview of the ends of empires. All of this will be helpful, okay? Yeah, it's just more than you want to read, so sorry, kind of. Now, this is compare and struggle. So I have, sorry, India is right here. Okay, so this is India, and I'm going to use this source, okay, for sure. This talks about Gandhi and everything that he did, which was pretty cool. I'm all about nonviolence, if anybody knows me, so I'm serious, and I love it. So this is for me. This part right here is really helpful. You don't get to do South Africa because it's white people helping out white people, so sorry that's not an option, but there's a case study here for that one too if you want to read it. And then, let's see here, because this is only part of the chapter. There you go. There's South Africa altogether. Alright, so now, look, here's some space. This talks about Ghana, this talks about Thailand, Ethiopia, Iran, Turkey, okay. Oh, this is talking about the non... What did we learn the other day? It's a block. Hold on. Global South. The non-Jews. Another... Hold on. Let's see. So this is about politics after the fact. Here you go. Vietnam. Yeah, so this is there you go. This one's really helpful. So, although colonial rule had been highly authoritarian, bureaucratic, with little interest in African participation during the 1950s, the British, the French, and the Belgians attempted, rather belatedly, to transplant democratic institutions to their colonies. They established legislatures, permitted elections, allowed political parties to operate, and in general anticipated the development of constitutional, parliamentary, multi-party democracies similar to their own. It was what with such institutions that most African states greeted independence. So that's really important. By the early 1970s, however, few regimes were left among the early states of So people had problems. This is all about government development after freedom. So that's really important. Okay. All of this is about African countries. So whatever you choose to do, these couple pages right here, pretty important if you're doing any African country. Now see, they're comparing them all with India, but sorry. So like this is all about India, which I will use. Sorry, kind of. Oh, hold on to your mail. Okay. Vision works. I want some new glasses. During the pandemic, man, hold on. Oh, well, that's nice. I can get cheap glasses once the pandemic is over. Thank goodness. Alright, so all of this is about African states from what I'm seeing. I see a little bit. This is really talking about the spread of different. Oh, look, and here's like democratic elections, here's military coups. So this is all about government in Africa after decolonization, which is very helpful. Yes, and this is varying outcomes of economic development. So this is another part of the questions, like how are they doing after they were basically transformed into these, extraction-based economies where the whole country's growing or doing one or two things. And what is that? Well, how are they trying to like do work outside of that, right? All right. So there's all that. Cool. So that's helpful for you there. Okay. And then let's see here. You don't really need to do Turkey or Iran, so that's not really helpful to you. This is just some tables and whatnot. Yeah, Turkey's not one of the countries you're working on, so I'm skipping through that. Iran is also not one of those countries. This is also kind of useless to you. So the first part, there's like a few pages there in the middle, right? That are particularly helpful to you guys. In this text, it's page 705, and I'll go find it in this. Yeah, so the beginning of the chapter, everybody, and then it really goes into specifics for countries for you guys once we get to experiments with freedom. Here's this. Oh, this is already in here. Okay. For you guys, it starts on page 993 if you have the third edition. It's 705 in the copy I gave you. Yeah, so that's a source. Now, I'm not going to consider this book a separate source, the 1200 to present. Like it's a different book, but it's the same publisher, and it's basically just a different edition. See, they're calling this the fourth edition. So I think that they kind of kept it mostly the same, but I'm not sure. So colonial encounters, let's see how similar this chapter is, okay? And look how divided up this is. So go to it. All right. Oh, look, it's exactly the same. All right, cool. Hold on. Let's go. I'm going to go back and look at that. So once you're using our code, this is chapter 10 of the new book. Now, I'm going to see how similar or different it is from the old book. Okay. like I said, once I'm done streaming this today, once I'm done doing all this, okay. Let's see here. Now the introduction is totally different. This is a different introduction. So that's good. So this is new. Alright, that's cool. Let's see what this is. Industry and Empire. Okay, so this one, the introduction is different, but then this is exactly the same. Hold on. I think. Hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at the book and I'm looking at the text, and it looks to be the same. The picture is different, but okay. So I mean, there are some differences, but it's not a ton. Okay, so that's cool. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. This is so helpful. I just need like a couple copies of this one, and then I can still use the books we even have. Oh, so happy. I'm really loving this though, because this is the types of questions that the new test and the new course are really wanting to ask of you. So this really is going to help me for next year. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, it's exactly the same. So what I said previously already works. And this is, like I said, this is the first part. Doesn't really tell you a ton. A second wave of European conquest. This really is like explaining it again. Okay, this is explaining where they took over. This is explaining where they took over in Africa. This is helpful to everyone and all of their background information, okay? And see how you just click through to do that? So this is what people did in those places. This is how these empires are different from other forms of empire, okay? And all of this is helpful to basically everyone who is doing this research, okay? This is the economies and what it did to the people, okay? This is that sad picture of the boy. See, it's the same book, okay? So you could use either version. You can use this version or this version, but I don't think it matters. But you only get to use it as one source, is what I'm saying. So if you try to use the 3rd edition and the 4th edition, that's not going to work out. You can use Amsco and Strayer. Does that make sense? The Amsco textbook, which I'll go get the front page and the prologue, because that's what I think I'm going to do next. I've just now picked 2 good sources, and I guess I'll go and find a 3rd source. So maybe a digital source, so that you all understand how to actually do that. But I don't have anybody watching, so that's, I mean, I might, but I don't know who you guys are. So if you're my students, you should tell me. If you're not, that's okay. If you're a robot, cool, I guess. I hope your robot is watching AP World History. But yeah, I'm going to try. Okay, so that's 2 sources. I've kind of skimmed through those. I do want to show you guys how to find an internet source as well. So I'm going to learn with you guys how to do this. So I'm going to go to fdhs.fcps because I want to go to our homepage for our school. And I want to go maybe students? No. Academies? No. Programs? Media Center. Let's click on the Media Center. Okay. Live library resource chat with Ms. Reno. How awesome. Look, every NTI day, you can literally ask her how to help you do stuff. So as you're starting to do your research, you can literally go find what you need. And she has got this so organized. It's so nice. There's the catalog for books, ebooks, and audiobooks. There's researching with databases, which is what I kind of want to show you how to do today. And then there's test prep. So I'm going to click here first and see if I can find anything. Ebooks and audiobooks. Let's see here. Fiction, ebooks, and audiobooks. That doesn't really help us. Even though that's cool, no judgment. Wow, wow. Miss Reno is really cool, guys. I probably shouldn't say her name too much because she doesn't want me to call her out, but this is neat. Let's see what is search. Oh, could you not click on it? So there's a login. I don't know the login for that. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Oh, look, if prompted for a password, see the online resource access page. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so this is the passwords for you guys to use, okay? So I was going to try to use Gale because that's the one that we just got access to this database. And I'm going to see what they got. Isn't that nice? So I'll use yours, so we'll see what you see, okay? I don't want to see the teacher side. I want to use it like you guys have to use it. So, all right, let's just try it. So I'm going to type Indian decolonization. We'll see what happens. Or colonization of India. Okay, so now it wants me to enter my password. And let's copy and paste this in here. Sign in. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sure. And look, there's so many things. There's 3 magazines. 55 academic journals. 11 books. Oh my gosh. Let's see what kind of books you guys can see full text of. Okay, so this is a database, guys. All I did, I just typed the main search. I didn't even go into it very far. Look, like here's like the main page, okay? I just typed Indian, or let's say British Empire in India, okay? Because it's a 2-part research. I got to find out about both, okay? So up here, this is showing you there's magazines, academic journals, books, and news. And if it is on Gale, I'm going to consider it a good source. But generally speaking, magazines are like the one you poop on a little bit more, but they're okay. Like the articles aren't terrible. But in academic circles, academic journals are where it's at. I will say that the reading level is going to probably be the highest in academic journals. I'm excited. I'm interested to see news. Okay. There's newspaper articles, Empire's Origins letter. These, I don't know if newspaper articles are going to help you as much, especially if they're current. But they might. I mean, I'm looking and seeing, okay? And our pages, 175 and 50 years ago, Russia's aims. That's cool. And part of researching is like this part. The title is right here. This tells you what source it comes from. This tells me what year it's from. This is how long it is. What type it is. And this little number right here, that's the Lexile level. If you are someone who struggles with reading, a higher Lexile level is going to be harder to understand the words. It's just more difficult wording. I wonder if I can sort them by Lexile level. Sort by... No. Hashtag nerd life. Can I filter it? Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's beautiful. I bet you there's nothing that low. Hold on, let's try it. Let's see if there's like easy to read. These are books. Okay, that makes sense. So hold on, let's expand that. Just all of them. Okay. I don't want to just do books. Hold on, go back. Go back. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. I'm just looking. So the news, I'm not super loving this. I think there's like 400 search results here, so it's kind of a lot to sift through, which you can do. But let's see if I can, look, I can restrict it by subject. So, like, if I really just want it to be about India specifically, these are all the ones, all the newspaper articles that are about India. I wouldn't say that any of these so far have anything to do with the British Empire. This kind of does. Yeah, now this kind of does. That's cool. Now, so all the empire buildings that they had, this is from The Independent. This was written in 1996. This is the wording. Now, and that's the only thing I don't like about this digital version of it. Like, all the pictures are gone. But that's okay. This is about decolonization. This is actually kind of cool. But the pictures really would help me, especially with it's about buildings. That's cool. So this actually talks about how buildings were put up and why they're all in danger now, right? Yeah. So this for example, I could use this as a source, okay? Basically, they just don't care about these buildings that much, and if they want them to be saved, British people probably better pay for it. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Cool. It's for the guy, Clive, Lord Clive. He's one of the earliest like governors of India. So yeah, I could use this source. That would be. It's kind of narrow, but it does talk about the topic. So I can glean information from that. So I'm gonna get rid of the word India because I saw another thing over here. It says the British Raj, and I'm gonna totally click on that and see if it gives me something cool. Yeah, okay. So this is wow. This is an article that's titled "The Raj Was Worse Than the Holocaust." Tharoor. I don't. Yeah. Wow. This is from 2016, and this is an article where one of their prime ministers, union ministers, are specifically demanding apologies from the British government for the depredations of the British Raj, comparing them to the Nazi Holocaust. Well, I mean, and he's not incorrect. Yeah, he's talking about what the British Raj did to their people. Yeah, as well as the contribution of Indian soldiers in World War One. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So that's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to use that as a source, but it definitely is. That would count. And then let's go look at. Let me get rid of the British Raj. Actually, I'll keep this because look, these are books that are specifically about it. To every Englishman in India, the British Raj begins. Let's see what this is. Because this is like. Oh. Rule 1 of searching on the internet. Right click and open in a new tab. It's very important. You do not want to have to go back over and over again to redo your search. There's 3. This is page 311. Okay. Of a book. Oh, okay. So global events, milestones. So this source is literally just that page about the British Raj. Wow. Okay. Nice. That is a good source. This is a source about what happened in India. So, awesome. That's a good source. Okay, now I know it's a good source because it's from my thing, but I've skimmed it. This is background information about um, industrial needs and industrial pushing, and then a little bit about the Sepoy Rebellion that led to the British government taking over from the East India Company. And, yeah. Okay, wow, wow. Awesome. Yeah, so this is a good source. I'm going to keep that one. And it's just the page I need. How handy is that? I don't have to sift through the book or nothing. Y'all. Holla. Okay. So that one we're using. And then let's see what this one is. Oh, I just did it to myself again. Cool. And this is literally just the pages that it's on in this encyclopedia. And that is a source, guys. That's a... And there's pictures on this one. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Awesome. So this is a really nice source as well. So I'm just rolling in sources, y'all. Jeez. All right. So cool. Well, now I feel like I have two fantastic sources to pull from here. And I'm going to add those to my other tabs because like I've got my tabs going over here, right? Which don't be a tab queen, okay? Like try to don't give yourself too many tabs. I've got all the PDFs open. You don't need to leave those all open the whole time, right? But you definitely want to save your articles. And I closed out of the book too. Let's see if there's a way to save them. Hold on. Oh my gosh. I'm learning as I go. Do you see this? Do you see this site? Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous. Oh my God. I'm so jealous of you right now. You don't even have to go to Citation Machine if you're using Gale. It does it for you on the page. Tomfoolery. This is insane. That's not fair to me. So this is what you're going to copy and paste into this right here. See the source citation? That's where this goes. So I'm going to start with this one, okay? I am shook. Unbelievable. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I did not have this when I was a student. That's all I have to say. And you can send it to oh my gosh. Okay, cool. So you don't have to even save it as a tab. Look, I'm going to save it to my source. Yes, thank you. Wow. Wow, I'm a pretty jelly sandwich right now, guys. That's just true. All right, I'm sending these to Google Drive. Okay. And it's just going to go as a document. So let's see what it shows up as for my future use. Unbelievable. Let's see what happens. We're loading it first. Oh my gosh. Look, they're the first two things. I'm going to open them up. And this is just like the actual article. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's crazy. Now, the thing is, I'm going to open it. I want to open it. Open it. Oh, and it's not added to my drive. So I am going to do that. I guess. I don't know what I just did. Probably did something stupid. But, hold on. It's a Word document, so... Can I open it? And can I save it to my shortcut? Maybe. Okay, can I open it? And I want to move it. Okay, yes. Now, I'm going to put it in my research folder. Okay, now, I am going to make a little baby research folder in here for you guys so you see how I use these sources. And that's something you should do in your in your drive, you should make a little research folder and you can save articles to it. Awesome. Okay. I am going to put it in Unit 8 because it's part of my decolonization. Colonization to decolonization India sources. Check. And now I'm going to move it. Move from my drive. Okay. Okay. Now I know where that's at. And now, ooh, now I can open this one with Google Docs. And I'm going to move it as well. And then I'll see how it looks when I go open it there. And then I will make one of them. I've already doing this for an hour and a half, guys. So I'm probably going to go through and read one of them and do the annotated bibliography all the way through to show you how to do that. But I don't have anybody watching, so I might not. I don't know. I'm going to do it because I want people to have this to go back to. So actually, okay. Now let's move it. Yeah, we want to add it. Move. Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to do. Nope. It seems like a lot of steps up front, but I promise you it's worth doing this to not be confused later, so I'm not going to feel bad about it. Okay, open with Google Docs. And then I still want to move it. Okay, gotta wait for all the things to load. Yeah, that's over here. Okay. No. It's not what I wanted. Okay, move this item. I'm gonna do it. I'm clicking this button. Alright. Now I can put it where I for sure want it. Because your main drive, I don't know about y'all, but my main drive is like a hot mess no matter what I do. Like, there's just like a pit of files that I'm never going to remember where it's all from and put it where it needs to go. So I like to have a folder for everything and be pretty organized from there. I'm going to move the one from my drive. Yes. Yes, that's the point. Okay, now. Now, if I go here, I should be able to open them up directly and not be confused. So let's see about that. I've got like 3 tabs of history open. So, and here they both are. Oh, that's so great. Let's open it with Google Docs. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I have to go potty. I'm going to have to end the stream, guys. I have to go in a second. But yeah, so I'll probably come back later and add to this since I don't have anybody here. I'll stream later on me actually reading the source and filling in my graphic organizer. All you got to do is read it and then you summarize it, say how it matters, and then think about like how would you really use this in a source. So, ooh, I want to make this smaller. And then I gotta go, y'all. So, sorry, not sorry. I'm definitely gonna take up more space, so I don't know what I'm even doing, but that's okay. So, there's all that. Here's how to find a source, and I've given you the textbook, I've given you AMSCO, and now I've shown you how to go use a database, and how easy it is to use one these days is insane. We have a really good one on our website for our library, and you can go do that, and I do want you to do that. So, talk to you guys later. Hope you're having a really good day at home. I hope you look forward to the next time I stream, which will be April 6th for sure. I might stream on the 3rd as soon as I find out the exact information about the test as well. But I know that I'm for sure streaming on the 6th for you guys. I've talked to everyone. They've said that for AP, I can continue to stream on Twitch. So we will be doing so. And more on that later. I love all of you. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're happy. And I hope to hear from you if you have any questions.